Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird today,
Oh, fantastic.
focusing on excerpts about daily life in Maycomb, Alabama.
Okay, yeah.
All seen through the eyes of our narrator, Scout Finch.
Right?
And it's just incredible how this book,
Mm-hmm.
it just continues to captivate people
Mm-hmm.
like decades later.
It really does. It's amazing.
So get ready to discover all these fascinating details
Mm-hmm.
about Maycomb,
Yes.
its characters, and those social forces at play in this really captivating southern town.
It's true. To Kill a Mockingbird just has this timeless quality to it.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why it resonates so much with us, I think, is Lee's just incredible ability to
Oh, yeah.
create this world that you just feel like you're immersed in.
Absolutely.
Right from the first page, you are transported to Maycomb.
Absolutely. Those descriptions, I mean,
Oh, they're so powerful.
they are so powerful. The slow pace, the dusty red streets, and that heat.
Yeah, that southern heat.
You can practically feel the sweat, beating on the men's collars
Ugh.
and
Yeah.
smell the ladies' sweet talcum powder.
Yes, exactly. It's more than just sensory details, though.
Oh, yeah.
Those descriptions also like foreshadow
Ah.
the underlying tensions and secrets that are kind of simmering beneath the surface of this like sleepy town.
Right.
Take, for example, the contrast between the town's languid pace and then the almost sinister aura that
Yeah.
surrounds the Radley place.
Oh, and speaking of the Rally Place, those descriptions always give me chills. Like
I know.
the overgrown yard, those pecan trees, even the air just feels different over there.
Right?
What do you think about that contrast?
I think Lee is deliberately using those descriptions like to create a sense of unease.
Oh, okay.
So, Maycomb seems idyllic on the surface, right? But there's a darkness lurking
Mhm.
underneath. And those pecan trees, with the kids believing that they could kill you, they really do
Yeah.
become a symbol of that hidden danger.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of the children, I mean, Scout, Jem, and Dill,
Oh, they're so great.
they're such compelling characters. I mean, their adventures, their fascination with Boo Radley,
Mm-hmm.
it's like watching, a masterclass in imagination.
It's interesting, though, because their, like, obsession with Boo, it goes beyond just simple curiosity.
Yeah.
Their fascination, it almost speaks to this, like, deeper human need
Okay,
to understand the unknown and to confront, like, what we're afraid of
that's true.
and find meaning in the scary things.
I never thought about it that way.
Right.
But that makes a lot of sense. And the games that they invent, like trying to get Boo to come out.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think that tells us?
I don't think those games are just innocent fun,
Right.
They're a way for the children to kind of process the stories they've heard about Boo,
Okay.
to create a narrative that helps them understand this mysterious figure.
Yeah. And of course, their world, their imaginative world is always kind of bumping up against the realities of
Absolutely.
Maycomb.
Yeah.
The poverty of Walter Cunningham,
Right.
the prejudice against Tom Robinson. And these experiences, like, challenge their innocence.
Exactly. Like, think about that scene where Walter Cunningham
Yeah.
comes to have lunch at the Finch's house.
Yeah.
Scout's totally confused by his table manners,
Oh, yeah.
pouring syrup all over his food, and it forces her to confront her assumptions,
Right.
that there are different ways of living,
Yeah.
different experiences that shape people.
Right. And, and Calpurnia scolding Scout
Oh, yeah.
for criticizing Walter. I thought that was such a pivotal moment for Scout, don't you think?
Absolutely.
It's like a first lesson in empathy.
Yeah, and it speaks to those, like, moral complexities of Maycomb.
Yeah.
On one hand, you have this rigid social hierarchy
Right.
that's very concerned with appearances and proper behavior. But then you also have characters like Atticus and Calpurnia, who embodies this, like, deeper sense of justice and compassion.
And Scout's, she's caught right in the middle of all of that.
Exactly. She's constantly questioning things,
Yeah.
observing the world with her curious and unjaded eye.
Right.
And it's through her perspective that we're invited to, like, examine our own assumptions.
It's true. And I love how Lee populates Maycomb with this, like, diverse cast of characters.
Yes.
Each one kind of representing a different facet of the town's, like, social fabric.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's take the Cunninghams and the Ewells, for example.
Yeah.
The Cunninghams, though poor, they're proud, they
Yeah.
work hard, they represent, like, a certain resilience and dignity,
Yes.
that defies their economic circumstances.
Right.
But the Ewells,
The Ewells, yeah.
they embody this, like, darker side of Maycomb's social structure.
Right. I mean, where do we even begin with them?
Well, they're trapped in this cycle of poverty and ignorance, and their actions throughout the novel, they really expose the town's like deepest prejudices and failings.
Yeah.
They highlight the consequences of neglecting education and just continuing these social inequalities.
And then, you have Miss Maudie.
Oh, Miss Maudie.
Who's just like a breath of fresh air in Maycomb.
Yeah, she's great.
She's kind, she's independent, and she always offers Scout a different perspective. And Aunt Alexandra.
Aunt Alexandra, yeah. She represents the more traditional, socially conservative side of Maycomb.
Right.
Very concerned with appearances and upholding all the social norms. And her interactions with Scout,
Yes.
they often highlight those conflicting messages that Scout gets about what it means to be a, proper lady in Maycomb.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating how those, like, contrasting influences, they really shape Scout's worldview.
Yeah.
She's trying to navigate all those different perspectives. Right.
Figure out where she fits in.
Exactly. And speaking of navigating complex situations,
Yeah.
think about Jem's experience with Mrs. Dubose.
Oh, Mrs. Dubose, yeah.
He goes from despising her for all her cruel words to, like, actually understanding her courage.
It's a huge transformation for Jem.
What a transformation.
Yeah, he learns that courage isn't always, obvious.
Right.
Sometimes it's that quiet struggle to overcome your own demons. And Mrs. Dubose, battling that morphine addiction,
Oh, yeah.
she embodies that quiet courage.
Oh, absolutely. And Atticus makes sure that Jem understands that struggle.
Yes, he does.
I mean, remember that incredible line.
Yeah.
Real courage isn't a man with a gun in his hand. It's knowing you're licked before you begin, but you begin anyway, and you see it through no matter what.
Oh, that's a powerful line.
It stuck with me.
Me too.
And it's like that reminder
Yes.
that true courage is often facing our fears.
Absolutely.
Even when we know that we're probably not going to succeed. Yeah, the odds are stacked against us.
And that ties in perfectly with Atticus's decision to defend Tom Robinson.
Oh, absolutely.
Knowing that he's most likely not going to win.
Right.
Knowing that he's going to face scorn from the community.
Yeah, but he still does it.
He still chooses to do what's right.
Atticus understands that defending Tom is bigger than just one man. It's about those principles of justice.
Yeah.
And equality, even when everyone's prejudiced.
Yes. And the trial scene, I mean, it's heartbreaking. We see that racial prejudice
Right in the courtroom.
play out. I mean, despite Tom's honesty, the evidence, the jury still finds him guilty.
It's like that courtroom becomes this, like, mini Maycomb.
Right.
You see that social hierarchy play out, and power and privilege are used to silence the vulnerable.
Yeah.
It shows just how blind prejudice can fail the justice system.
It's true. And it's in this context that Scout's observation about the mockingbird becomes so poignant. She says, it's a sin to kill a mockingbird.
Right.
And Atticus explains that mockingbirds are innocent.
Yeah.
They don't do anything but bring joy to the world.
Right.
And Tom Robinson becomes a symbol of that mockingbird.
He does.
This innocent man destroyed by hate and prejudice.
It's such a powerful metaphor.
It is.
Showing how injustice can hurt people.
Yeah. And, it's interesting. It's the children in this story who seem to really understand this injustice the most.
Right.
They haven't been, fully brought into Maycomb's way of thinking yet.
They still have that innocence.
They have that innocence.
That lets them see through
Yeah.
the hypocrisy and the prejudice that the adults just accept.
Right. They're still capable of that empathy
Yes.
and compassion
That a lot of Maycomb's adults seem to lack.
that they seem to lack. But even amidst all that darkness, there are these glimmers of hope.
Yeah.
Think about that encounter with Boo Radley.
At the end, yeah.
At the end.
He's not a monster.
Not the monster we all thought, but a protector.
He's a hero.
This silent hero.
Yeah, Boo Radley, he's shrouded in mystery for most of the book.
Right.
But he becomes this symbol of kindness and compassion. Even in a flawed town like Maycomb, they're still good.
And it's through Scout's eyes that we finally understand Boo.
Yes.
She doesn't see that monster that the town created, but this vulnerable person.
Yeah, that moment when Scout's on Boo Radley's porch.
Yes.
Looking back.
Oh, so powerful.
Powerful. It shows her perspective changing.
Right.
She understands the world better. Things aren't always as they seem.
It's true.
People hide their true selves behind fear and prejudice.
It's this moment of, like, empathy.
And connection.
Yes.
And it shows one of the book's biggest themes, the importance of looking past those judgments and seeing everyone's humanity.
This deep dive has been so thought-provoking.
It has.
To Kill a Mockingbird, maybe fiction,
Yeah.
but it deals with truths about human nature.
It's prejudice, justice, courage,
Yeah.
all within this small town.
And it's amazing how Lee brings all these themes together.
I know.
With these great characters.
Yeah.
It's a compelling story.
Yeah, and I think one reason why this book is so powerful
Why?
is that it makes us look at our own lives.
It's so true.
Our own experiences.
To Kill a Mockingbird makes us look at our own biases.
Yeah.
Our preconceived notions.
Yay.
It asks us how we react to injustice.
Yeah.
And to think about our own moral compasses.
You know, I think after this,
Yeah.
I'm going to revisit my own childhood.
Oh, wow.
And think about the lessons I learned.
It's amazing what books can do.
It's amazing what a book can spark.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it makes you wonder
What's that?
what Scout, Jem, and Dill, like, what they'd be like as adults.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they'd still carry those lessons from Maycomb with them?
I think Lee kind of leaves that up to us, you know,
Right.
to imagine their futures.
But given what they went through, it's hard to imagine Maycomb not having, like, a lasting impact.
Yeah. Imagine Scout
Yeah.
with, like, her sharp mind
Yeah.
and her big heart, you know, challenging injustices in the world.
Totally.
Or Jem remembering Atticus
Mm-hmm.
and like a courageous good path.
Yeah, and
Man,
Dill
like-
with his sensitivity, you know,
Yeah.
and wanting to understand everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe he finds a way to bring people together.
Yeah, to connect those who are different.
Exactly.
It's almost like Lee is giving us this blueprint
Oh, interesting.
for a better world, like showing us how empathy and courage and that commitment to justice, like
Yeah.
they can really make a difference.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
To Kill a Mockingbird is more than a story. It's like a call to action. It's telling us to look at our own biases,
Right.
to stand up for what we believe in, and to remember that everyone deserves to be treated well.
With dignity and respect.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
That's a really powerful message to carry with us.
It is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's one thing you hope, like, listeners will take away from this?
I hope they remember that the fight for justice and equality, it never ends. The things that happened in Maycomb, they're still happening.
It's true.
And we all have a part to play in making the world a better place.
That's beautifully said. And
Yeah.
and on that note,
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming on this journey with us to Maycomb.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's been a privilege
Likewise.
exploring this book with you.
And remember what Scout says, you know?
What's that?
You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it.
Ooh, wise words.
Yay.
Wise words to live by. Until next time, everyone, keep diving deep and keep those conversations going.